Job interviews scare the modern man as much as bears in the forest. The good news is that you can prepare for a meeting with an employer unlike a predator. Today is the time to do it. Now, I will tell you how. Where to start preparing for a job interview. When preparing for a job interview, one of the most important steps is to gather as much information as possible about the company you want to work for. This includes studying the corporate accounts on social networks, exploring the news on the website, reading the biographies of the managers, and checking the industry media. While you don't need a complete dossier on all employees, having a good understanding of the company's big picture and context is critical. This not only helps you answer questions more effectively, but also demonstrates your interest and commitment to the role. Another key aspect of job interview preparation is sleep. A good night's rest is not just a luxury, but a necessity. It plays a crucial role in helping your brain remember and process information better. If you don't get enough sleep, you'll find it harder to concentrate and remember important details, which can significantly impact your ability to analyze company information and respond effectively during the interview. So make sure you get a good night's sleep before your interview. What to wear to a job interview. Pay attention to the photos on the website of how managers and employees dress. This will tell you what to wear for the interview. If you are applying for a startup with a spirit of freedom where even the top management wears sneakers, an ironed classic suit will be out of style at the interview, just like a casual outfit in a company with a strict dress code. If you are afraid to miss and the photos do not say anything about anything, it is better to ask the recruiter what dress style will be appropriate. Prepare everything in advance. It's better to have a spare set of clothes so you don't fall under Murphy's Law, which states that something will get lost, torn, or dirty before going out. What's the next step? The main fear of job seekers is to say the wrong thing, make a blunder, stutter, forget important information, and embarrass themselves in front of a potential employer. So rehearse in advance what you will say, especially how to answer the most popular request to tell about yourself. Review your CV again and recall the main career milestones to prepare a sensible self-presentation. The self-introduction usually includes a brief overview of your career path, where you describe where you've worked, what experiences you've had, and what character traits and skills have helped you. This is followed by a more detailed account of your previous employment, including your role in the company, your tasks, achievements, and why you decided to leave. It's also important to explain why you want to work for this particular company, what attracted you to the vacancy, and how you can be helpful in your new position. Remember to mention your plans for the future, what your career goals are, what you would like to achieve professionally, how you plan to move towards these goals. Self-presentation should be concise. It is enough to rehearse your speech for 5 minutes and touch upon the most basic thoughts in these. If necessary, the recruiter will definitely ask clarifying questions, but for the start, it is important to show that you can tell about yourself and do it confidently, not remembering on the fly what company you worked for 2 years ago and what you did. Personal qualities and interests can be mentioned briefly, but only if they are relevant to possible future tasks at work. Usually, HR is not keen to hear about your collection of rare cacti or photos of your children. It's better to wait for questions about your life outside of work if they are important and interesting to the employer. A good narrative about yourself will briefly touch on all main topics that interest the employer, but more detailed answers to several common questions may be required. You may need to explain why you want to work for this particular company, the position that attracted you, and how you see yourself at the company in a year or 2 or 5. It is also essential to prepare for the question about what you were unhappy with at your previous company and talk about it sensitively, indicating how you dealt with difficulties. You may also be asked about your salary expectations, so be prepared to discuss your financial preferences. You must explain what's most important to you as a manager and team member, what qualities you value, and how they affect your productivity and job satisfaction. Share your short and long-term professional goals and how you plan to achieve them. Finally, you'll need to answer a question about what motivates you in your job, whether it's exciting projects, opportunities for growth, recognition of achievements, or other factors. Not all interview questions can be anticipated in advance, but rehearsing your answers to the main ones is worth rehearsing. This will help you avoid embarrassing situations such as when you start calculating your desired salary right in front of your employer or confess that your previous boss was an autocrat. Honesty at job interviews is appreciated, but within the limits of corporate etiquette. Therefore, it is worth formulating more accurate answers to questions, especially about your dissatisfaction. The next stage will be the technical interview. When preparing for it, pay attention to several important aspects. Firstly, you may need to write code during the interview. This may include performing tasks on a blackboard or paper, where solving the problem and demonstrating logical thinking is essential. This focus will be on knowing basic programming concepts such as conditions, loops, and algorithms. If you need to remember any syntax while writing code, you should not panic. You must show you understand the basic logic and approach to solving the problem. When writing code on paper or whiteboard, use indentation and ensure neatness so your code is easy to read and understand. Second, create and maintain a portfolio of your technical projects. Include the projects most relevant to the position you are applying for. Place the most critical projects at the top of the list and try to get feedback on your work. This will help build confidence in your experience and skills. Be prepared to talk in detail about each project, including its objectives, the technologies used, and how your developments can be applied to the new role. Explain how your experience and skills can benefit the potential employer. Finally, in an interview, you may be asked questions that begin with why. These questions test your thorough understanding and justification for your tools or approaches. Be prepared to explain why you chose certain technologies, how you made project decisions, and what the benefits were. This will help demonstrate your technical knowledge and your ability to think analytically and apply knowledge in practice. Perhaps we should prepare our own questions. Job seekers often focus on pleasing the employer and doing everything right. Don't forget that you are not only being chosen, but also looking around and deciding whether it is worth associating yourself with this company. Therefore, do not hesitate to ask. During the interview, it is important to ask the employer a few key questions. Clarify the responsibilities of your position. What will be the schedule and format of work? What will your typical workday look like? And are there any special requirements? Also, ask about plans and KPIs and how often there will be reporting periods. Ask about management and the team. Who will be your immediate boss? Who you'll be working with, how big the team is, and how responsibilities are distributed within it. It's crucial to ask about career prospects during the interview. Understanding how the company's career development process works, what you need to do to get promoted, and whether it's even possible will give you a clear picture of your potential growth within the company. Remember to ask about the process of taking holidays and days off, knowing how holidays are organized, when they become available, how they are paid, and whether you have to work or be on call during weekends and off hours will help you maintain a healthy work-life balance. Of course, ask for all the details related to salary and bonuses, how salaries are formalized and paid, whether there is indexation and a bonus system, and what is required to receive a bonus. So how do I get through this interview successfully? The right attitude is just as important in a job interview as intellectual preparation. You can rehearse a perfect self-presentation, but you may need clarification on nerves and mix up or forget something. Giving yourself a life-affirming attitude is essential. I am a good specialist. I have enough experience. I can cope. At the same time, prepare yourself morally for a possible rejection in advance so that it does not become a surprise and does not throw you off course for further job search. If you are rejected, it does not mean you are a terrible specialist or make an unpleasant impression. The human factor often comes into play, or the recruiter has specific ideas about the ideal employee. You can't please everyone, and life doesn't end here. If you didn't get the job, it means that there is another job somewhere that is more suitable for you. The right attitude also includes a general level of calmness, which is not achieved only by rationally persuading yourself. Interviews are very stressful for most people, especially if they are infrequent and perceived as an ultimatum test of suitability. Therefore, the hit-or-run mechanism can be triggered, increased sympathetic nervous system activity, hence the sweaty palms, flushed face, frequent breathing, and a general feeling of "I'm about to be finished." Exercises that switch to the parasympathetic nervous system will help in this situation. Maintaining a calmer state will allow breathing exercises, which are convenient because you can practice anywhere and not attract the attention of others. This includes sitting in the waiting room before a job interview. Here are some breathing exercises to help you calm down. Try the 4-7-8 breathing technique. take a slow inhale for 4 counts. Hold your breath for 7 seconds. And then perform a long exhale for 8 seconds. Usually, 3 to 5 minutes of this breathing technique is enough to feel calm. Another exercise is square breathing. Imagine a square in front of you and move mentally along its edges, inhaling, holding your breath, and exhaling for 4 counts on each edge. Repeat this exercise 2 to 3 times. For quick calming, you can use the technique of 2 short inhales and a long exhale. Take 2 quick and short breaths. Then stretch the exhalation as much as possible. You will feel calmer already after 1 to 2 repetitions. Also, try breathing through one nostril. Close the right nostril with your thumb and slowly inhale through the left nostril, counting to 4. Then, close the left nostril with your index finger and hold your breath for 4 counts. After that, open the right nostril and slowly exhale through it, counting to 4. Repeat this several times, changing nostrils for inhalation and exhalation. This exercise helps to balance mental activity and relax the nervous system. Conclusion: interviews will not seem torture if you prepare for them sensibly and in advance. No one can cancel the human factor. A recruiter or company manager may not approve your candidature just because. But knowing the basic principles of preparation, you will be protected from awkward silences in response to difficult questions and can show yourself at your best. A mental attitude is also critical, so remember to have positive attitudes and relaxation exercises.